Welcome to month 2 of Walking Through the Wilderness. By June 2025, the reality of unemployment was beginning to settle in. The initial cushion of transition had faded. The rejection emails from hundreds of job applications continued to arrive one after another, and the financial pressure on my family was becoming real. Seasons like these have a way of testing not only your circumstances but also your heart. The temptation is to withdraw, to isolate yourself, to allow disappointment, fear, or shame to convince you that you have nothing left to offer. I knew those thoughts were not from God. So instead of pulling away from His people, I chose to draw even closer to Him. I made the decision to begin serving at my church as an usher. Looking back, that decision became one of the greatest blessings of my wilderness season. Every Sunday, while my own future remained uncertain, I stood at the doors of God's house, welcoming people with a smile, helping them find their seats, and creating a space where they could encounter the presence of God. Many people had no idea I was walking through one of the most challenging seasons of my life. Yet week after week, God reminded me that my usefulness was never determined by my circumstances. Serving Him shifted my focus away from what I had lost and back onto the one who had never left me. I didn't realize it then, but every Sunday I was sowing seeds of faithfulness into a season that looked barren. In God's perfect timing, I would discover that no act of obedience offered to Him is ever wasted. Instead of becoming consumed by my own needs, I discovered the joy of helping others encounter God. In serving in His house, He was quietly strengthening my heart. The lesson of June 2025 is this: waiting on God is never passive. Throughout Scripture, waiting is often accompanied by worship, prayer, obedience, and faithful service. One verse became a beautiful picture of what God was teaching me. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. At the time, I wasn't serving because I knew what God was going to do next. I was serving because He was worthy of my obedience, regardless of my circumstances. Week after week, I stood at the doors of His house, trusting that while I was serving Him, He was quietly working on my behalf. Sometimes God doesn't ask us to understand every detail of the journey. He simply asks us to remain faithful where He has placed us. I learned that serving God in the valley prepares us for the mountaintop. When our circumstances don't change immediately, our character still can. God often does His deepest work in us while we faithfully serve Him in places no one else notices. Beloved, I want to encourage you today. God is not a man that He should lie. What He has promised, He is faithful to fulfill. As you continue walking with me through these 15 months, you will begin to see something I couldn't fully see at the time. While I thought I was simply serving at church, God was teaching me humility. While I thought I was waiting for employment, God was preparing me for ministry. While I was opening the doors of His house each week, He was quietly opening doors that only He can open. He is the waymaker. He is the promise keeper. He is the light in the darkness. He finishes what He starts. So wherever you find yourself today, don't lose heart. Remain close to God. Remain faithful in the place He has called you to save. Trust Him wholeheartedly, even when you cannot see the next step of the staircase. The God who carried me through this wilderness is the same God who walks with you today. Thank you for joining me for month 2. In our next episode, I will share what happened in July 2025, when God reminded me that even in seasons of uncertainty, He is always at work behind the scenes. Until then, remember this: every testimony points to Jesus. God bless you.